And I am here with Jane from the Compassion Project Nepal, although she is currently in Canada. And I'm about to embark on a 120-kilometer walk through the Himalayas. And while I'm there, I wanted to do something for the community that I'm traveling through. And Jane has been working for 10 years in that region to benefit the health and welfare of the people there. So, hey, Jane, tell us a little bit about the main projects you're working on and where you are working in the Nepalese Himalayas.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for chatting with me tonight. So coming to you from Canada, Canmore, Alberta. I had been working on a book project and traveled to Tsum for the first time in 2012 and noticed the lack of healthcare, the disconnect from local people up there being able to have reliable healthcare. And so I just talked to the local people and we started chatting about it and asked them what they need, and healthcare and education were the key things that came up. So yeah, like you said, it was we officially registered in 2015, so it's our 10-year anniversary. I'm the director and the co-founder of the Compassion Project, so based in Canada. Then we work with the Nepalese, and I'm the only non-Indigenous person on the team. Otherwise, it's all local people. And our Canadian charity just works to listen to what's needed in the valley and to support those needs.
How far away is this valley from things like roads, hospitals, infrastructure, things that we all take for granted every day when we drive our cars out of our driveway?
Yeah, great question. So Tsum is located in Nepal, as you mentioned. It's in the high Himalayas, and it takes multiple. You leave Kathmandu, you get in a vehicle, you drive, you go higher and higher into the foothills. Eventually, the road stops. This road is being progressed now, and it has been for the last couple of years, but it stops. It becomes unnavigable. You get out of your vehicle and you start trekking, or if you're a local person, you start going up this trail that's hundreds of years old, and you're on this trail with mules and horses and all kinds of people, other trekkers, local people doing their business and their trade. And so it takes between 3 to 5 days, depending on how fast you're walking and the conditions of the trail, which change drastically season to season. Sometimes bridges are washed out and sometimes access is limited, but it's all by foot. It's a lot of up and down. So when you're trekking there, you realize, oh, I'm making good progress, and then you go down and up again. So the motto when you're making this journey is slowly, slowly when possible, because it's a long journey to get up there. And the village that our projects are in is called Lama Gaon. Lama Gaon. Means like a village. Lama Gaon, village of the Lamas. So there's a lot of history there that you'll see, and your trekking companions will see. And it's located just above 3,000 meters in elevation.
Wow. Hey, I'm going to break the format of this meeting for a second here, because I have a bit of a surprise for you. Sitting next to me in the room is my friend Casey, and he heard about this project. We had breakfast yesterday morning. Do you want to squeeze in here?
Hello.
How are you going?
Hi, Casey. I'm Jane.
Nice to meet you, Jane.
So, Casey, what's going on? What are you doing here?
I've known Rob for a long time. He was letting me know about your what you do, and it really struck a chord. I own an organisation in Townsville, and we decided to support Rob by offering to match every donation dollar for dollar up to $10,000.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all that you're doing to help these people. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And
that's huge. It's hard to express how I feel about that. It's really huge. We appreciate that very much.
The wild thing about Casey is I didn't ask him at all. I just said to him, oh my God, we're having breakfast. We're eating Eggs Benedict. I met this woman and this is what she's doing. And he said, I'm in. I'm like, what do you mean you're in? He's like, I'm in for 5,000. No, I'm in for 10. I was like, are you serious?
Oh, I've got shivers all up my arms. That's just fantastic. I think I want to just say like how powerful that is, and for you both to know that every dollar that is taken into our charity is like carefully spent, and we're very direct and intentional about our actions. And because we work with local people, there's it just directly, we buy medicine, we employ the teacher, we employ the health staff. It is just like directly affecting lives and literally saving lives. So I just want to say a huge thanks, and for you to know how powerful that donation will be, from you.
And maybe next year, mate, you can come with us.
I'd love to.
It's going to be awesome.
It's beautiful up there. I highly recommend traveling up there.
You were saying that Tsum Valley means something. Can you tell me a bit about what it's like there and what the houses are like, what the culture is like?
Sure. So it's one of my favorite places on the planet. I've written about it in 2 of my books. So the word Tsum, from my understanding, and local people might also have additional stories to add to this, but from my understanding, the word Tsum means vivid. So that's certainly been my experience when I travel to Tsum. The mountains rise up. So if you imagine our clinic and the monastery there are at around 3,000 meters, and then the peaks around rise up to like 6,000 plus meters. So the differential there is really big. So again, that word vivid, like you're in this beautiful valley where there's subsistence farming. You see these homes that are traditionally built out of stone. After the earthquakes, more materials have been introduced to make them safer, but they're stone built. You have monasteries and temples in the valley. You have those colors of the temple roofs, and then you've got these vivid peaks, sometimes snow-capped, and then the sky, depending on the day. If it's monsoon, it's like a heavy sky. If it's fall or spring, you might get just a potent blue sky. And then at night, the stars are, of course, there's no light pollution, so the stars are intense. And then the feeling up there, like you'll enter through a gate to get to Tsum Valley, and it's at the split where you would go to Tsum or Manaslu. So you'll see that area. When you go to the right up to Tsum, you pass a gate, and there's you'll read a sign, and it talks about the special nature of this valley, where there's no killing. There's an ancient pact in place, and sort of like ways to be when you're within the valley. So being mindful, being connected to the environment, watching your own thoughts, being kind to animals, being kind to each other. So you'll see this as you pass through, and it all leads to that vivid feeling of like being very aware. It's you'll experience it firsthand when you go there.
I've never been more excited in my life. And for me, I didn't want to go up there with my carbon fiber trekking poles and sit in someone's house and drink butter tea and not be bringing something with me that I can give back. And I've been stressing for 6 months going, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? So being able to work with your organization and having you trust me to be able to help means the world to me, and I'm so excited. So what sort of medical care does the clinic provide? Like, what are the emergencies that you guys manage for the people there?
So right now we have one healthcare working there. Her name is Sujata, and she's a really, really sharp young woman. She's an auxiliary nurse midwife, and she says that most of the cases that she treats would be like urinary tract infections, cuts. She'll do stitches, and she's a midwife, so she'll help with maternal care, prenatal care, postnatal care. Fevers, sort of like your everyday things. And it might not sound like a big deal, but if some of those things aren't treated, of course, we know they can get really, really serious in a hurry. So she's the first line of defense. Now, for example, if a woman had a breech baby and Sujata could identify that, which she has, she can't deliver a breech baby because it's very complicated, but then she has the tools to refer that mom down to go down for further care. Sometimes they can get a helicopter out if there's transport going, or if it's early enough, the mom can hike down and then go to a hospital and have a baby in a safe environment. So that's really critical. Just a side story, the first time I ever trekked to Tsum, it was just myself and my guide. And I saw a woman in labor, but she was actually on the back of her husband, and her husband had her in, it's called a tselbo. It's a basket that you'll see. They use it for carrying yak dung and carrying supplies and firewood. He had his wife in here with a blanket over her, and she was in labor, and my guide said she's having a baby, but something was going wrong, and in order to get her to proper care, he had to hike her down. And at that time, it was 7 days to get her to safety. So I saw that. I had had a breech baby like in the safety of Canada, and luckily everything went well and I got proper medical care. But I thought, it's just too many women having these complications that could be avoided that are so serious and painful and sometimes cause death. So speaking of like what we offer at the clinic, I mean, the origins, the story of our clinic, and I'll just say it kind of quickly, but our two of our other founding members are brothers, born in Tsum, now living in Canada, part of our Canadian registered charity, but their sister, and they're comfortable with me sharing this, their sister died having a baby, so she actually bled to death. The baby survived and is now doing really well. She's older, but this is one of the reasons they reached out to me and we partnered up, was to just be very, very direct in how we can help women, babies, families, and with these basic healthcare needs.
What can you really say to that? It's so impactful, and it makes it all the more exciting to be able to directly help people through you guys, and the more people who are listening to this that can contribute. The dollar goes pretty far there, right? So you might think, hey, my family can only afford $5, or my family can only afford $20. $20 in Nepal is more like $1,000 here, is it not? Maybe not directly, but
it's true. It's a lot more powerful. Like our money goes a long way there for sure. And like I gotta say, literally, we started this out when my children were little, doing bottle drives. Because in Canada, I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but you get money when you take your cans and your bottles in. And that's how we started. It was just our family going to our friends and other family members and doing bottle drives and doing them at school. So that little bit of money actually got us started. And then we just grew slowly over time. So yes, $5, $10. I mean, yeah, it all makes a difference, and even a small thing can go a long way, and it all has an impact. And when we say like a $10 donation, and like this, I'm not just saying this, like it doesn't matter what the amount is, it means a lot, and it all adds up.
It does. My meditation teacher says, hey, Rob, how does the ocean fill up? One drop of rain at a time.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, you don't only do healthcare up there, you also have made a school. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So we recognized the need for our mandate was health and education. So we have a kindergarten, and again, it's just simple. We're like, how can we make a direct impact, and how can we help the community? So we talked to the parents, and our operations coordinator Tenzin, he reached out to the community and is very closely connected. And we learned a kindergarten would be great because it would give kids the opportunity to be exposed to games and toys and playing. It would also give their parents, who are subsistence farmers for the most part, a chance to have their kids cared for during the day. So rather than the children being at home, they learn many valuable skills at home and they're with their family. But this way, during the day, they can have fun. They can learn some Nepali and Tibetan and English letters. They can play with the soccer balls that we have had donated to us by a different trekker on a different trek. They have toys that we've brought up, cards. They can draw, they can play. So that was a big thing. And we actually did get a grant last year for a playground. So the kids have a playground. So you'll see them playing up there at this little playground. There's some swings and a seesaw or teeter-totter. And that made a huge deal. It was the first playground in the whole valley.
I saw photos on your website of a guy with a plastic slide that walked this giant plastic slide 5 days up the Himalayas. Is that real?
Oh yeah, that's real. That was due to the amazing logistics skills that Tenzin, our operations coordinator, has. So we got this grant, we purchased the equipment, we got it up as far as we could on the road. The road ends. Now what? Well, we were supposed to long line up these pieces of slide and equipment on a helicopter, but then they changed the restrictions. Like we weren't allowed to get a permit for this long lining on the helicopter. It wasn't deemed as safe or what have you. So the only way up was by human power. So we paid the porters well, and we had a team of porters taking turns and carrying them up, and that's how that equipment got up to that elevation. Yeah, it's a pretty great story.
Good.
Yeah, I'll share the picture of that with the people who are listening to this, because that's just unreal, mate. I get tired carrying my groceries up 3 flights of stairs to my apartment. I can't imagine hiking with a 150-pound plastic slide on my back up the Himalayas for 3 days.
I've got to say the men and women of Tsum are very strong. They're hardy folks.
All right. Well, Jane, this is going to be awesome. And while I'm there, I'll do my best to create some photos, videos, and media for your organization, so you have some content to put out for the next year. I'm hoping I'm going to get to meet Tenzin while I'm up there. And I really, really am grateful for this opportunity to directly connect with the people there and to connect with you and to benefit them. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad we found each other, that you found us, and got to know our organization. I'm thrilled. We are so, on behalf of all of us, and I'll just say on behalf of the people of Tsum, because they are, it makes a huge impact, and they're very grateful for donations too, like through us. Just a huge thank you to you, to both of you, and to your team, and to everybody who is part of this, because it extends our global family, and it's just a special, beautiful place where we can make a difference on local terms.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.